today I'd like us to kind of recollect and bring that back into our awareness, because there's just tremendous preciousness in this, in our spiritual path. So I'm going to present my slide. I'm Wangmo Dixey. I'm the director of Dharma College, which is based in downtown Berkeley, in the heart of downtown Berkeley. And we have a 32,000 square foot building. It happens to be a historical landmark building, very close to UC Berkeley. And what we do is really focus on our spiritual path, trying to understand mind and self. Mostly in a secular way. We like to open the gates to all, to welcome all beings to know more about themselves, especially when we heard from Dr. Manat about how do we find this peace, and also how do we integrate that into everyday living, so it doesn't just become a place where we sit on the cushion or that we do our yoga only for 1 hour, but that we really integrate it into our lives, so that even when we're cooking or when we're taking out the garbage, we are actually practicing a spiritual life. And that is what we try to do at Dharma College, is really invite all to start living a path of wisdom and compassion. So our spiritual landscape, that's everything to me. Our spiritual landscape includes all. It doesn't mean going to the temple only, or sitting on a meditation cushion, or going to a Dharma talk. Our spiritual landscape is our lives, our precious human lives. Now, I'd like to begin by really questioning this aspect of beginning to have a deeper connection to ourselves. That the wealth of our understanding of our lives, connecting closer to how our mind operates, and how our emotional ups and downs, all of that, we connect to that because that's a very rich source of knowledge. So we begin here with self-knowledge. So how do we get back in touch with ourselves? And how do we genuinely become free? When we begin to look clearly at our inner nature, our perspective, we gain a perspective on our development that frees us to grow. And this clarity is the beginning of self-knowledge. It can begin by just beginning to pay attention to our mind and body. So I'd like to read to you from a beautiful book here called Skillful Means. It's a class that I like to teach about inner freedom. When our inner nature is truly free, we can find within ourselves a wealth of treasure, love, joy, and peace of mind. We can appreciate the beauty of life, taking each experience as it comes, opening our hearts to it and fully enjoying it. Realizing these qualities within ourselves is the greatest freedom that can be gained. Yet how much of this inner freedom do we allow ourselves? How receptive are we to our deepest thoughts and feelings, to the positive nature of our inner being? Although there are times when we feel this inner richness, we often shut it off, encouraging in ourselves subtle feelings of dissatisfaction. At times, we may not even let ourselves feel happy without guilt, or derive satisfaction from our accomplishments without also feeling doubt and anxiety. So really here, I'm just trying to point out that we are on a path, our lives are a path here, and we need to pay attention to caring for oneself. So we begin to be sensitive to how our actions affect our thoughts, our body, and our senses, so that we have a connection to this mind and body, like yoga, does so very well, and that we're paying attention to things that maybe feel like blockages in our body. And we can even do a body scan by just sitting quietly in our chair and paying attention to the subtle energies in our body, just through our breath. What do we notice about any blockages that might be there? Maybe you have pain in your neck, or maybe you have your gut, there's something that feels uncomfortable in your gut. This is all about paying attention to the body, our mind and body interacting together. Can we identify where those blockages lie? Are they covering up something? Did we notice our actions having an impact on our body and senses? Let's say, for example, you're in an argument with a friend. Does that dispute or that verbal communication actually impact the body? Those feelings actually lend in the body, the communication, the verbal communication, the language impacts the body. So how much, the question is, did we pay attention to ourselves today or yesterday? And then I'd like to offer this idea of applying this cooperation between mind and body, a sense of harmony between the mind and the body, so that there's a coalition of our thoughts, feelings, and sensing. Nothing stops us from experiencing and expressing that kind of care. And very much what we do in our life, this work, and when we are in our professional lives, or whether we have our family lives, everything is interconnected. And our spiritual life is the whole encompassing aspects of both our work life and our family life, and let's say together becomes our spiritual life. So that we want to have a balance, but also every opportunity, every moment of our lives provides us an opportunity for us to dive in and see transformation, to dive in and to see the personal growth, that we can use this as an opportunity for change. So this is Dharma, as all of you know, this becomes our path. Even difficulties become our path. But that's a way for us to understand more about ourselves. Our lives are so externally oriented and distracted by all the things that are going on around us. But if we can pay attention to this mind, this precious mind and body, and ultimately to connect a cooperation, a harmony, then we become in the flow. And some may say we're at peace, or some may say, I just feel good in my body, right? So this is what we want to, not as if we're grasping for it, but this is an example of what we would like to feel in our bodies as a signpost that things are going well. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. Please feel free to reach out to dharmacollege.com. We have a website. Many of our classes are online. We have a retreat center. And I'd just like to leave you with one last thing, which is your life is so precious. Our human journey is so truly precious. And so the value and the meaning of our inner life is tremendous. So, go there, take a journey to understanding more about how all of this comes about. It's a very rich and deep journey, and many great spiritual, wise beings, including the Buddha, went on a complete path to understanding the truth of suffering. So we too, as human beings, can look with introspection. And India, as a country, has bred such great great, great wise elders. So you already come from a lineage of great traditions. Thank you.